you've mentioned previously the training itself is incredibly grueling. Can you paint a picture of what it's like and what were the moments where it really pushed you to your limits?
I think, I mean, going back to the shift work per se in anesthesia, I would say it's like your normal 8 to 5 kind of hours. Your on calls are only 12 hours if you either cover 8 to 8 or you're on pain service covering APS or you're on night shifts doing an 8 to 8 shift. So there's nothing more than 12 hours. So, but then obviously the complexity of whether you're running, I mean, you've done anesthesia as well, Serena, so you would know the complexity of running emerge theater, sections, etc. So it's quite taxing based on which hospital you're at. That's one aspect of things. But the main aspect is um, how stringent the college is or how stringent the training is once you get into the program, once you start your service registrar training and start doing your logbooks, it's like a ticking time bomb. Means your clock starts ticking, and within the first 2 years, you've got to attempt your primary exams. As you know, obviously, you've got your primary exams, your first exams in anesthesia, and then your exit fellowship exams. So the stress was actually very much the primary exams. I can go in depth if you want me to. So
Yeah, explain what do you mean by that? Like, does it mean that not everyone sits for the exam at the same time? You have to decide if you're going to take the exam or not going to take the exam. What do you mean by that?
So there are 2 attempts per year for the primary exam. So your primary exam consists of 2 parts. So obviously, actually 3 parts. The first part is your MCQ based questions, and then you got your short answer questions, and you got to pass those 2 papers first before you get invited for the viva. All right. So then you get that. So once you pass your viva, you've passed your primary exams. And why I said it's stressful is because firstly, it's a 75% fail rate for the primary exams. So they kick off a lot of candidates at the start because the exit exams are quite straightforward and it's more clinical based, whereas the primary exams are very much science based. And after that, they only give you 2 attempts. So after 2 attempts, so think of it as 2 lives. After 2 lives, you're pretty much done.
What do you
Um,
mean by that?
So if they say you fail the first time, you get to repeat it again, but you have to repeat it within that 2 years. You cannot be doing just say, I've done my first year as a registrar, I've done my second year as a registrar, I can't attempt in my third year. In that, so just say you attempt it within the first year, then you fail. So you only have 6 months when the exam slot comes in again to attempt it for the second time. And then you fail the second time, then your 2 years is up. So you fail 2 attempts within that first 2 years and then pretty much that's it. You're out of the program.
So you're out of the program and you can't be a specialist anymore, or is there other ways to attempt to become a
So,
specialist?
I mean, I don't know how things have changed now. Back then, if you're not in the official Franska training program, you get pretty much, means if just say you're a service registrar, means you got a spot in a hospital, in that hospital as an anesthetics registrar, you get 3 or 4 attempts, as I recall. Sorry, I just can't remember right now, but the official attempts are 2. So pretty much there are people who have done it 3, 4 times, and then once your lifespan is up, then they kick you out of the training program, and yeah, you can't attempt it anymore.
Well, so it sounds like you have to time your exams, you have to study, and you have to work.
Yes,
When you say the passing rate is 75%, does it mean
the
they will
failure.
failure rate is 75%? Sorry. So does that mean that they will remove 75% of each cohort?
I don't know how it works, but pretty much for each attempt at the exam, so there's 2 attempts per year. So just say if it's 10 people who are attempting to sit, roughly like so what 75% fail rate. So only 3 or 4 will pass in that sense. But just to give you another perspective, which is even more stressful. So there are even few people I know who have passed the MCQ, passed the short answer, gone to attempt the Viva, fail the Viva, and you've got to reattempt everything again, which is insane, like absolutely insane. Like you've passed the MCQ, you've passed the short answer, which is the hardest portion. You just have to go for the OSCEs or the Viva, and then you fail the Viva, and then they make you reattempt the MCQ and the short answer again. And then that's one life done. Yeah.